Happy Sunday. Welcome into the San Francisco 49ers Report. Chase Sr. here with you. Coming up here on the show, I want to go through my Niners winners and losers from San Francisco's preseason opener last night on the road against the Tennessee Titans. And speaking of that game, we got the 2024 season started off with a bang. 75,000 views during our watch party last night. A couple of hundred new subscribers picked up. So thank you so much for all of you who watch this show and support this show. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so right now for year-round and daily coverage of the Niners right here on the largest independently run Niners channel right here on YouTube. So without further ado, let's hop right in. My first winner for the Niners last night in their preseason opener is rookie right guard Dominick Puni. He got the start. I thought he played really well. He didn't put bad snaps or reps on tape. He impressed offensive line coach Chris Foerster and head coach Kyle Shanahan. Shanahan saying after the game that pretty much Dominick Puni didn't piss me off, which is always a good thing when you don't do things that are going to bother me and make mistakes. And Puni, he has been rising up the depth chart during Niners training camp here and has the inside track to start week 1 against the New York Jets in primetime at Levi's Stadium at right guard. Momentum is gathering behind that. And we saw a couple of really impressive plays from him in which he was nasty, he was physical, he held up well, was not overwhelmed against the Tennessee Titans number ones on the defensive side of the football. And on the Jordan Mason touchdown run on the opening drive, which spanned 11 plays, 74 yards, nearly 6 minutes, Dominick Puni was at right guard. He pulled, so the Niners not afraid to have him on that pull block in a critical situation, made a good block, and then carried Jordan Mason into the end zone. This dude just plays the game the right way. Really exciting to watch a young player not be overwhelmed in his first NFL moment, physically or mentally. And according to Pro Football Focus, Dominick Puni, third-round pick out of Kansas, 14 pass blocking opportunities, 0 pressures, 0 sacks. This Niners offensive line needs some juice. They need some youth. They need some promise right now and looking into the future. They need some changes along that offensive line, which last year was not good enough. Dominick Puni can help provide that. The 49ers offensive line in the preseason opener, in the first half, Chris Hubbard at left tackle, Aaron Banks at left guard, who didn't have a good first play and then recovered after that, Nick Zakelj at center, Dominick Puni right guard, and Colton McKivitz at right tackle. So a couple of starters along that offensive line getting in on some action last night. And then in the second half, Sebastian Gutierrez at left tackle, Ben Bartch, Drake Nugent, Lewis Kidd were seen at left guard, Bartch and Nugent at center, Jarrett Kingston at right guard, and then Brandon Parker and Isaac Alarcon at right tackle. 49ers winner number 2, another rookie. The rookies were flashing, balling out, and we're not done talking about the rookies. Right now, let's talk Malik Mustapha. Malik Mustapha is a yoked athlete who's a versatile safety who can play in the box, hybrid linebacker, has the pursuit skills to play deep center field safety, and has the built body type of a small linebacker. He made an excellent first impression in his professional debut. The Titans were 2 yards shy from a touchdown on 4th and 1 in the second quarter. Malik Mustapha was the deepest player at safety on the Niners defense, and he was shot out of a cannon to stand up Titans running back Hassan Haskins on a turnover on downs where he laid the boom and laid the smackdown on an incredible hit that sent an echo wave throughout Nissan Stadium in downtown Nashville. And then, on the opening kickoff in the second half, Mustapha able to speed downfield while getting blocked, and he smacked Titans returner Gutierrez Jackson, stopping him in his tracks. So Malik Mustapha, Dominick Puni, 2 players who could have an impact offensively and defensively as young players and cost-controlled assets for this team. And then for Mustapha, he can contribute on special teams as well. Good sign for this Niners team moving forward, because they have a lot of veterans. They're the oldest roster in the NFL because they have a lot of high-priced premium older players. So when you see younger players start to make strides, you have to replenish the cupboard. and that's important for San Francisco. Niners winner number 3, a second-year player. So another young player here, D. Winters. The 6th-round pick out of TCU in 2023 had 5 tackles, 2 solos, 1 TFL. He just flies around with really impressive play speed and plays with his hair on fire and has no fear and does not shy away from contact. He's instinctual in a way where he always finds a way to make plays on the ball, is disruptive, makes disruptive plays, and is always around the play. Now, it's impressive how fast he plays, how aggressive he is, but sometimes that aggressiveness can get him in trouble when he's overly aggressive and he can over-pursue. We saw that last night on a crosser from Calvin Ridley, and there were a couple of times in which he over-pursued and got burned. That's maybe why the Niners go with the more veteran presence in Devon Jerry Campbell at linebacker to start the year, but D. Winters could start for this team at some point, which would not surprise me. Another winner, another rookie, 7th-round rookie linebacker out of Florida State, Tatum Bethune. Led the Niners with 8 total tackles. 5 of them were solo tackles, 1 for a loss. Good diagnosing skills. Not overwhelmed by the play speed. Able to read and react, make plays. He made some nice tackles in the open field. And the Niners are very, very deep at the linebacker spot. And then lastly, for our winners, Jordan Mason. He's the 49ers' second-best running back. On the opening drive, he was featured heavily. 5.7 yards per carry on the first drive, running with decisiveness, physicality, and power. It seems as though he's always a shoo-in to pick up 5-6 yards per tote. And sometimes he can carry the pile. Jordan Mason's a legitimate player. And I think that the Niners should factor him in a little bit more with this offense to be more conservative with Christian McCaffrey to save him and not run him into the ground. Also, keep in mind that McCaffrey signed an extension, so now he's with this team through 2027. The backup quarterbacks. Let's talk about them. I'm not going to list them as a winner or a loser, but I thought Brandon Allen and Josh Dobbs played pretty well last night, easing some concerns that I had about the Niners' backup quarterback spot behind Brock Purdy. Allen was accurate, displayed a little more arm strength than what I was expecting and what I've seen in the past. His 2 best throws were on long balls perfectly placed downfield, which were difficult throws with a high level of difficulty, which were dropped by Tay Martin and Ronnie Bell. Josh Dobbs, on the other hand, has always made some nice plays out of structure. He has very good mobility. The touchdown in which he ran for, nice play, sensed pressure, broke a tackle, stepped up, turned the corner, and then leaped into the end zone looking like John Elway in the Super Bowl against Green Bay back in the 90s when Mike Shanahan was the head coach. The sack that he took on the second-to-last drive in which he lost, 15, 20 yards, inexcusable for a veteran, but made some solid plays outside of that. My Niners losers, punter Presley Harvin. The Niners need Mitch Wishnowsky back. Now, Harvin played a couple of years with the Pittsburgh Steelers, had some decent moments. Niners brought him in because Wishnowsky dealing with some tendonitis in, I think, his knee. But Harvin outpunted the coverage. Just can't happen, and I just didn't see it. Tay Martin, bad drop. You're trying to make the roster at a position that's extremely deep. You've been with this team in the past. You've had a good training camp. Can it translate to game action? A ball right here on a long ball from Brandon Allen, you have to reel in that explosive play. Ronnie Bell, some good, some bad. Had a bad drop on a deep ball, looked as though he got banged up there. He's had a good training camp. He started to come on of late, but you can't drop that ball when usually Ronnie Bell has come down with those contested catches. He's a tough and rugged player who does a good job of picking up yards after the catch in a mini Debo type of way, but that ball was right there for the taking, and he dropped it. Cody Schrader, he had a really good kick return, special teams-wise, and because the Niners are banged up at running back, you got to pop on special teams. That's a way to make your way on the roster or a practice squad. As for him running the ball, I don't think the offensive line did him any favors, but he didn't get to do a lot as far as running and carrying the football as a running back. And then when he did have those opportunities, there was really nothing there. It's not that he's a loser for what he didn't do. It's just he had a great opportunity to maybe make this team make an impression. And because the offensive line wasn't great, some plays weren't there, and he couldn't really get things going. He just didn't pop like I thought he could. And then the Niners' third down defense. It was terrible last night. Just absolutely terrible. I know it's a preseason game. I'm not going to say that Nick Sorensen's on the hot seat. I jokingly said that on X. But the third down defense has to be better. I know it's the preseason. They're not trying to reveal or unveil anything, but they couldn't get off the field on third downs. So my Niners winners and losers here on this Sunday in the aftermath of their preseason opener against the Tennessee Titans. Hope everybody enjoyed our watch party, enjoyed this show. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Back in the studio tomorrow. And then the Niners this week, joint practices against the Saints, preseason game number 2 against New Orleans. And we'll provide you with some great coverage.